but Barrow told me you might know of something better. The armour of some Brunswick?
Oh, that, lad, 'tis but a legend.
Is this really it? A piece of Brunswick's armour? And what's this? A piece of parchment?
Hey everybody, in this video I'm going to walk through how to complete the Lion Crest task in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. So this is actually something that you can start pretty much right at the beginning of the game to get some really good gear right off the bat once you go through the prologue and are kind of have free reign in the starting town area. So once everything's all said and done, kind of the primary thing you're looking for is this legendary Brunswick armor set. So I'll show you all the pieces here. We've got the Bascinet, the Coif, the Brigandine, and we've also got the Gauntlets and the plate sleeves, and then the plate leg armor, which I can't equip just yet. You can see most of the pieces on my character there, but I need to get some foot protection first. And then also you have the Caparison for a horse as well. So you'll get this along as you go, as we complete the quest. There's going to be a lot of things along the way to get a lot of good gear on top of that. So I'll kind of talk about how you can kick off this quest and then go through the whole process of tracking down all this armor, which is going to be kind of spread throughout the region. So starting off, once you get through the prologue section and then finish this cutscene where you get out of the stocks, you'll be waved down by a beggar named Bara. There's a quest for Tomcat, so go through all that dialogue with her, but then select Help Me, and then I Need Something to Wear. This will kick off Bara telling you about this legend involving the Brunswick armor, as well as mention a scribe named Geibel, as he may have some additional information that you can get about it. Once you finish up your conversation, and if you need to talk to Bara again, you should be able to find her randomly around town, typically begging on the side of the street. But just head right behind her into this house here, where you should find Geibel and ask him about the armor. There should be a dialogue choice that has kind of a purple icon next to the dialogue choice, which will then lead into him talking about Brunswick's armor. So go through all that, and after that completes, you'll not only get the Lion's Crest task, but you'll also get this recipe on how to craft Brunswick's Poleaxe as well. Before we head out though, there is one important item you'll have to buy first, which is a shovel, as we'll need to do some digging as part of this quest. If you need some quick money to do this, Barrow will give you 5 groschen if you select the I Need Money dialogue choice with her. And then there's also some honey in these fields that you can freely harvest. You don't need to worry about stealing it or anything. And then you can take that back to the trader and sell it to him. And he also has spades for purchase, which at this point you should have enough groschen to afford one of those as well.
Du wirst sicher zufrieden sein. Bis bald.
Finally, not required, but if you talk to the bailiff, who should be nearby Geibel, the scribe, around that area, he'll mention some fresh graves, which will mark them on your map. These are just south of town, so if you head that way with the shovel, you can dig those up for some loot, as well as a really good shield, which should come in handy on the journey we're about to go on. Alright, so now once you're ready to go out and begin the actual quest, the first portion of this is to solve the riddle that was given to us by Geibel, which you can see here. This will lead us to the first location that has a piece of Brunswick's armor. So essentially, it's telling us to head north past Trotsky Castle and into the forest. So you'll want to start heading in that direction, where you'll eventually run into some hunting grounds.
Pass through the Hall of Forest Kings, hidden deep from hunter's gaze. That could be this deer hunting ground.
Continue forward and you should find the next clue, which are these sandstone rocks.
2 sandstone guards, just like in Gable's rhyme. A mighty rock between the sandstone guards. That fits. But what does give one's heart to God mean?
And then if you hug the left side of this rock here and continue it around, you should eventually see a small opening that contains a stone cross as well as a grave that you can dig up. So this is the chapel on the rocks, which is location number 1 for this quest. And here you'll find Brunswick's Dagger and Gauntlets, as well as a few other goodies. And you'll also find 2 maps, which will then lead us to the next locations that we need to head to.
Is this really it? A piece of Brunswick's armor. And what's this? A piece of parchment.
So now if you open up your inventory, you should have two maps, which again lead to locations 2 and 3. For this next one, you can see Trotsky Castle there, the Chapel on the Rocks, as well as the next spot, which is basically just straight west of where we're at. So we'll start heading in that direction. First though, I did stumble across a fresh grave here, so if you want to try and look for that first, you can grab some additional loot as well. After heading west from Chapel on the Rocks for a bit, there's going to be a clearing with a path that breaks into 3 routes, which aligns with the map that we have, as you can see here. Head into the forest from there and you'll find location number 2. However, this one is unfortunately going to be protected by a group of wolves. If you can, I'd recommend making a save state first, either by saving and quitting or using some schnapps, but you'll have to deal with these guys before actually getting to the loot. So I primarily just relied on using my shield to block attacks and then following up with a riposte counterattack. It seems like they will typically retreat and run away after you get their health low, so just try and focus one at a time while doing your best not to get surrounded. Once that's taken care of, you'll find a bag behind these 2 trees, which has Brunswick's Coif, plate leg armor, and the Caparison. You'll also get another map for location number 4, but we'll come back to that in a bit, as we still need to go to location number 3 first, which we have the location for from the other map that we got at Chapel on the Rocks.
Another piece of Brunswick's armor. And another clue.
So if we open up that map, we've got a few big clues with Takeoff on the right, as well as this big body of water. This is going to be southwest of our current location, so we can hop on the nearest path and start making our way down that way. Eventually, you'll come across a few villagers next to Vidlax Pond. After crossing the bridge, you'll see the area that lines up with the map, indicating the spot for location number 3. If you head up into the trees, you'll discover another stone cross with a chest that contains Brunswick's plate sleeves, some savior schnapps, as well as the map for the 5th and final location.
Here it is. Another piece of Brunswick's armor.
Now opening up map number 3, which takes us to location number 4, we can see that this one is just southwest a bit from Takeoff. That's east of our current location, so if we head back down the way we came, jump back on that path we were on and continue it southeast, that's going to loop around underneath that location and take us pretty close to where we need to go. Down the ways a bit, you'll also come across an overturned cart here, so stop by and loot some food as well as a few other items scattered across the area. It's starting to get a bit dark, so it's going to be a little harder to see, but once you hit this bridge, that's your cue to start heading up into the trees. Taking a look at the map, you've got the bridge we're on right here, and then the location up above, so head past this camp and into the trees. Eventually, you'll come across this skeleton. Again, if we take a look at the map, this kind of gives you a good look of the big loop that we've done so far, going from location to location. But here, back at the skeleton, you'll find Brunswick's Brigandine.
The cuirass to Brunswick. It's really it.
Last, we've got map number 4, which is going to take us to the 5th and final location, which is near some water. I've moved down to the town just south of that last location to stay at the inn and get some daylight, so this last spot is just going to be just a little bit southwest of there, so we can hop on the path and start making our way down to that area. Along the way, you'll come across a familiar area, which is the house of the old lady that took care of you at the beginning of the game. So if you stop by there, there's some dialogue options, and if you ask if something has happened, it'll lead into picking up the Bad Blood quest, so you can do that real quick. A bit further down the path, though, you'll eventually be able to head left up into the forest. This is going to take you to a camp with 3 bandits that you're going to have to deal with, as they are going to be standing in your way of getting that final piece of Brunswick armor. So this can be a bit daunting at first, but I was able to figure out a way to even the odds a bit by using the trees as cover. 2 of the bandits have ranged attacks, one with a crossbow and the other with a bow and arrow. So if If you go up and get the attention of the crossbow guy, then hide behind a tree when he fires, he'll kind of keep his distance, letting you isolate the other bandit that does melee attacks. So that's how I started out the fight. And if you can make a save state here, that will help, as this definitely wasn't my first attempt doing this. But once it's down to the crossbow guy and the bow and arrow guy, I basically did the exact same thing. So essentially, this allowed me to break it up from a 3 versus 1 fight into 3 1 versus 1 fights.
I surrender! I surrender! I can't get a shot in.
Once that's taken care of, each one of them will have quite a bit of loot on them, so spend some time going through that, as well as a variety of other things you can grab around the camp. Grab some food if you're hungry. Check out these bags, which have a variety of things that you can go through. If you have a lockpick, you can open up this chest, which had a broadsword in it, and then also pick up this golden chalice next to one of the graves. Finally, head over to the stone cross and grab the Brunswick Bascinet, which is the final piece, as well as a shrinking die and warm rosary. All right, so that is the Lion Crest task complete. Hopefully this video was helpful and got you through to the end. As I put on the bassinet here, one cool thing, just calling that out, is that it does have a visor, so you can kind of open and close that. You can see the tooltip there explaining that functionality. But anyways, again, hopefully this video was helpful and got you to the end of this quest to complete it. If you did this at the beginning, you should be in a pretty good spot with lots of good gear to take on the rest of the game. So I'll leave you with that. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you in the next one. Bye.